Making headlines. President Muizu extends felicitations to President Widodo on the occasion of the 50th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between the Maldives and Indonesia. President assures to address the challenges faced in the tuna fishing industry in the Maldives. And the Economic Minister announces that transferring agronet operations to MIDFC will significantly enhance the growth of the agricultural sector in the Maldives. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to PSM News. I'm your host Malak Ahmad Fayaz. Now for the news in detail. President Dr. Muhammad Muizu extends felicitations to President of Indonesia Joko Widodo on the occasion of the 50th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between the Maldives and Indonesia. In the letter sent to President Widodo, President Dr. Muizu sent his warm greetings and best wishes to the President, the government and the citizens of Indonesia, lauding the close historic ties between the two nations. He also said that the relationship had continued to prosper over the years marked by close cooperation and cordial friendship. Additionally, President Dr. Muizu expressed his sincere hope to continue working closely with President Widodo and the government of Indonesia to deepen the friendship and enhance cooperation for the mutual benefit of the people of the two nations. President Dr. Muizu also extended his best wishes for President Widodo's good health and well-being, as well as for the continued progress and prosperity of the citizens of Indonesia. President Dr. Muhammad Muizu assures to address the challenges facing the tuna fishing industry in the Maldives. He made the commitment during a meeting with the Bodo Karneli Masveringe Union BKMU held at the President's office. The President and Minister of Fisheries and Ocean Resources, Ahmad Shyam, engaged directly with BKMU members. Speaking at the meeting, President Dr. Muizu emphasized that the purpose of such meetings is to bring government solutions directly to the citizens. He reaffirmed his commitment to implementing the pledges outlined in his manifesto, stating that once these goals are achieved, the fishing sector will see solutions. He also provided BKMU members the opportunity to voice their concerns and share their experiences. During the discussion, BKMU members highlighted several challenges including low incomes, the declining number of individuals entering the fishery sector, and difficulties in handling and certifying the hygiene of fish and fishing vessels. They also expressed concerns about the effectiveness of devices used to track fishing boat locations, requested a mechanism for selling fish at minimum prices, and sought special buoys for the big eye tuna fisheries as well as the protection of fishing areas. Speaking to PSM News following the meeting, President of BKMU Hussein Nasheed said that he had communicated all the fishermen's issues to President Dr. Muizu. He said that these included the low income from tuna fishing and the depletion of ocean resources. He also expressed that President Dr. Muizu had pledged to address these issues and noted that the meeting was a significant first step in bringing the fishermen's difficulties to the attention of both the President and Minister Shyam. The government has reiterated its commitment to listening to individuals working within the fisheries sector. President Dr. Muhammad Muizu assures that the housing crisis in the country will be resolved according to the housing unions. Speaking to PSM News, union members voiced their concerns and challenges regarding ongoing housing projects. They highlighted issues such as delays in land registries, the need for assurance letters, accountability from relevant authorities, and the importance of resolving these matters in a way that safeguards the rights of the citizens. Meanwhile, President Dr. Muizu emphasized that housing is a top priority for his administration. He assured that everyone listed in the government gazette would receive land plots provided they comply with regulations as pledged. He also committed to sharing updates on current and planned housing projects and pledged to address any difficulties faced during implementation. The housing unions expressed their appreciation for President Dr. Muizu's engagement, noting that it demonstrated his commitment to addressing the housing issue. They acknowledged that past interactions with various institutions had not yielded satisfactory responses, but were grateful that the President had listened to their concerns and provided encouraging answers. The government announces plans to partner with the International Atomic Energy Agency (IAEA), aiming to develop the nuclear medicine field. Speaking at a press conference, Minister Zamir revealed that the decision was taken as it will benefit the Maldives, adding that the collaboration with IAEA will play a pivotal role in supporting the Maldives to develop the nuclear medicine field. Highlighting that President Dr. Mohammad Muizzu pledged to establish a cancer treating hospital in the Maldives, the minister stated that nuclear medicine was utilized as a treatment for several diseases. While the government has decided to collaborate with IAEA, it disclosed that all the works pertaining to it will be led by the Ministry of Defense. The government notes that this is a long-time process, as this decision made by the Cabinet will be proposed to the Parliament and will require parliamentary approval for the Maldives to join the agency. In addition to the IAEA assisting the Maldives in advancing the nuclear medicine field, it can also serve benefits to the Maldives in the field of renewable energy. The IAEA was established in 1957 in response to the deep fears and expectations generated by the discoveries and diverse uses of nuclear technology. It seeks to promote the peaceful use of nuclear energy and inhibit its use for any military purpose, including nuclear weapons. While the organization consists of 178 member states, Maldives and Bhutan remains as the only countries in the region which have not joined the organization. Minister of Economic Development and Trade Mohammad Saeed announces that transferring Agro National Corporation Limited (Agronet) operations to the Maldives Industrial Development Free Zone (MIDFC) will significantly enhance the growth of the agricultural sector in the Maldives. Speaking at a press conference held at the President's office, Minister Saeed revealed that the government plans to begin developing an agricultural economic zone in Uturutila-Faro, UTF, later this year. He emphasized the critical role Agronet plays in this major project, valued at approximately $250 million. The development is being spearheaded by MIDFC in collaboration with China's Harbour Engineering Company Limited (CHEC), following an agreement signed on March 28 this year. Additionally, Minister Saeed highlighted the government's goal to establish special agricultural zones in the northern and southern regions of the country, as well as in the Greater Mali region. He also said that the initiative aims to position agriculture as a significant income-generating sector. Furthermore, Minister Saeed noted that important work is being carried out internationally for this project, including studies on sand and sunlight quality in an international laboratory. He also noted that the project is expected to create around 800 job opportunities, reduce reliance on imports, and lower food prices by increasing local production. The development of the agricultural economic zone in UTF is being promoted by the government as the largest project ever undertaken in the country to ensure food security and promote agriculture as a sustainable industry. The zone will focus on cultivating around 15 types of vegetables and fruits commonly consumed in the Maldives. The project also includes land reclamation in UTF, the development of primary infrastructure, an agricultural industrial park, passenger and freight terminals, and other related infrastructure in the region. Minister of Economic Development and Trade reiterates the vision of President Dr. Mohammad Muizzu to introduce investor visas in the Maldives after consulting with experts from real estate markets in developed countries. This vision has been outlined in the government's manifesto. Expanding and diversifying the economy is one of the biggest priorities of the President. Speaking at a press conference, Minister Saeed highlighted that the introduction of investor visas is expected to facilitate the influx of dollars into the country. The minister noted the significant progress made in the works to introduce the visas. Shedding light on the visas currently issued in the Maldives, he revealed that the Maldives has been issuing corporate residence visas since 2013. He noted that some updates were brought to the visa in 2020. Meanwhile, Minister of Homeland Security and Technology, Ali Hassan, stated that the Investor Residence Program is a program conducted widely in several developed countries. The minister underscored the pivotal role of the program in driving economic growth in these countries. He anticipates that approximately 2,000 potential investors will seek investor residence visas once the program is officially introduced in the Maldives, with the number of investors expected to increase annually. He projects that this could lead to investments totaling $6 billion over the next 5 years. Ministry of Health reveals that over 4,000 students have undergone thalassemia screening under the nationwide campaign conducted to increase public awareness on thalassemia. Provided insight on the number of students who went through the screening process, the Ministry of Health stated that a total of 4,004 students were screened for thalassemia from January to this date. Additionally, awareness sessions were conducted across schools, which saw the participation of 124 parents and 198 students. The awareness programs were also held for some ministries and administrative offices as well. The national campaign, launched on February 4th, aims to reduce the birth rate of children with thalassemia by educating both students and parents about the condition. The students of Arabia School were the first students to partake in the nationwide program. The first phase of the campaign was launched by the Health Ministry in collaboration with the Ministry of Education and the Maldivian Blood Service (MBS). The government drafts guidelines pertaining to the protection of whale shark species in the Maldives and their habitats. This initiative was introduced by the Ministry of Climate Change, Environment and Energy, commemorating the International Whale Shark Day, which is observed annually on August 30th. The first guideline aimed at protecting whale sharks were initially drafted on June 5, 2009. Several notable amendments have been brought to the guidelines and will be implemented after a period of 3 months. The guidelines detail on strategies to maintain a safe environment for whale sharks sustainably, how the actions of humans must be when visiting such sites. According to the guidelines, it is prohibited for individuals to be 3 feet close to whale sharks or touching them at all. It also prohibits obstructing shark movement and mandates to keep a distance of at least 20 meters when diving with the sharks. Additionally, it prohibits feeding whale sharks using flashlights or any sort of light near whale shark habitats or docking vessels near their habitats. The guidelines also prohibits utilizing selfie sticks near the area and states that drone photos must be taken 30 meters above the sea level. The guidelines stipulate that the area extending 250 meters from the whale shark is designated as the contact zone. Within this zone, no more than 3 vessels are permitted at any given time. Vessels operating in the area must not exceed a speed of 5 knots per hour. If a vessel comes within 50 meters of the whale shark, it is required to reduce its speed to 2 knots per hour. However, vessels are allowed to exceed these speed limits in emergency situations. Additionally, vessels engaged in water sports are prohibited from entering the contact zone. The guidelines also outline procedures for dealing with a sick whale shark. In the event that a whale shark becomes ensnared by a mooring line, the Environment Protection Agency (EPA) must be notified immediately. If a whale shark is entangled, a sharp object such as a knife may be used to free it. Meanwhile, if the whale shark is injured due to natural causes or from contact with a blade, it should be left to recover in its natural environment. The guidelines further address the protocol for handling deceased or killed whale sharks. The ministry has specified that any breaches of these guidelines will result in fines. In July 2016, the International Union for Conservation of Nature (IUCN) classified whale sharks as an endangered species on its red list. Whale sharks were previously designated as a protected species under the Fisheries Act of the Maldives. Assistant Commissioner of Police ACP Ahmad Shifan announces that the Maldives Police Service MPS will prioritize preventing drug-related crimes and gang violence. Speaking to PSMNEWS, ACP Shifan revealed that the MPS has developed a strategic plan aimed at enhancing the police force over the next 5 years. He said that the plan was shaped with input from a wide range of individuals. Acknowledging public concerns, Shifan emphasized that tackling drug-related crimes and combating dangerous criminal groups are key objectives for the MPS. He outlined ongoing efforts to improve the police system and increase resources to effectively combat these types of crimes. He also said that the MPS is committed to streamlining its operations to prevent crime in these high-risk areas. Furthermore, Shifan highlighted the progress made by the MPS since its separation from the National Security Services. He also pointed out that the MPS has expanded its staff and resources, established police intelligence and enhanced services through technological advancements since becoming a civilian institution. Moreover, Shifan noted that the MPS now has offices in 147 islands and employs over 5,500 officers. He also said that the MPS has strengthened its investigative capabilities and adopted modern digital techniques, while also improving laws, policies and police service systems. Official data shows that Eurozone inflation fell to its lowest level in more than 3 years this month, thanks to falling energy costs, raising expectations of a European Central Bank interest rate cut.
Consumer price raises slowed to 2.2% in August compared to the same month last year, after reaching 2.6% in July, closing in on the European Central Bank's 2% target. The August rate was the lowest since July 2021 and in line with expectations by analysts for FactSet and Bloomberg. Eurostat said that the core inflation, which strips out volatile energy, food and tobacco prices and is a key indicator for the bank, cooled slightly to 2.8% in August from 2.9% in July. Friday's data will provide some relief after inflation unexpectedly edged up in July. The ECB launched an aggressive rate hiking campaign in July 2022 to tame red-hot inflation, which peaked at 10.6% in October that year as Russia's invasion of Ukraine sent food and energy prices soaring. The ECB cut rates for the first time in June this year. The Frankfurt-based institution has since kept rates unchanged, but the market hopes another cut will come after a meeting on September 12. Sam Miley, a London-based Centre for Economics and Business Research, said that the data makes a rate cut at the European Central Bank's upcoming September policy meeting more likely. Miley said that, however, the higher rates of core inflation and continually tight labour market will present risk factors to implementing looser monetary policy. The French Central Bank chief called for a September rate cut in an interview with French magazine Le Point, saying it would be fair and wise. The chief is a member of the ECB Governing Council that decides on rates. An ECB board member had warned on Friday before the data was published that there would be a cautious approach to loosening monetary policy. A better performance in August was mainly thanks to a 3.0% fall in energy prices, including prices at the pump. The drop came after energy costs had risen by 1.2% in July. Food and drinks prices rose by 2.4% this month in the Eurozone, at a slightly faster rate than the 2.3% registered in July. Services inflation accelerated to 4.2% in August, up slightly from 4.0% recorded in July, which could have been in part caused by the Olympic Games in Paris.
China on Monday rolls out the red carpet for leaders from across Africa seeking to deepen ties with the resource-rich continent it has furnished with billions in loans for infrastructure and development.
Beijing has said this week's China-Africa Forum will be its largest diplomatic event since the COVID-19 pandemic, with more than a dozen leaders and delegations expected. China has sent hundreds of thousands of workers to Africa to build its mega projects while tapping the continent's vast natural resources, including copper, gold, lithium, and rare earth minerals. Its vast loans to the continent have funded infrastructure but also stoked controversy by saddling countries with huge debts. China, the world's #2 economy, is Africa's largest trading partner, with bilateral trade hitting $167.8 billion in the first half of the year, according to the Chinese state media. Security is tight across Beijing, with roads and bus stops bedecked with banners declaring China and the continent are joining hands for a brighter future. Among the leaders in the capital is South African President, who arrived early Monday for a 4-day visit. Trade between China and South Africa soared to $38.8 billion in 2023, according to the South African presidency. The South African president is set to take part in a welcoming ceremony on Monday at Beijing's ornate Great Hall of People and lay a wreath in honor of Chinese revolutionaries in Tiananmen Square. The two countries will sign a number of agreements focused on enhancing economic cooperation and the implementation of technical cooperation. China has significant presence in the Democratic Republic of Congo, where it is keen on tapping vast natural resources including copper, gold, lithium, and rare earth minerals.
Coco Gauff joins Novak Djokovic and Carlos Alcaraz on the US Open scrap heap as the defending champion crashed out to Emma Navarro in a blizzard of mistakes as China's Zheng won a record-setting finish.
As Gauff exited, US chances were then rekindled when Francis Tiafoe and Taylor Fritz reached the men's last 8, igniting hopes for a first homegrown male Grand Slam champion since Andy Roddick's win in New York in 2003. Third-ranked Gauff slumped to a defeat to her fellow American on the back of 19 double faults and 60 unforced errors. The 20-year-old's exit means Serena Williams remains the last woman to successfully defend the US Open title in 2014. Gauff's loss was another body blow to the season's final Grand Slam. Djokovic, the defending men's champion, was knocked out in the third round to suffer his earliest exit in 18 years. Navarro had defeated Gauff at Wimbledon in July and was dominant again on Sunday from the outset. The 23-year-old broke for 4-2 in the first set and sealed the opener in the 9th game, where one rally stretched to 27 shots. Gauff recovered from a breakdown in the second to level the match, but it was a brief respite as she served up 3 more double faults to slip a crucial breakdown again in the decider.
George Clooney and Brad Pitt brings a jolt of electricity to Venice, joking and presiding over a public fest as their new film, Wolves, premiered.
The high-profile production starring Hollywood's top 2 leading men is one of the highlights of the 10-day Venice Film Festival. The actors' red carpet appearance did not disappoint, with both playfully sneaking into the risers among the paparazzi as fans shrieked and waved. Ahead of the premiere, Clooney said it felt second nature sparring with Pitt in the action comedy about 2 professional fixers forced to work together. The 81st edition of the world's oldest film festival has been awash with stars this year, starting with Nicole Kidman and Angelina Jolie, Pitt's ex-wife, and next week's Lady Gaga and Daniel Craig. In the production from US director John Watts, whose credits include the Marvel Studios' Spider-Man trilogy, Clooney is called in to help a woman in a swanky penthouse hotel room deal with a dead young man on her bedroom floor, until of course Pitt arrives. Clad in nearly matching black leather jackets, the pair soon realize the job is bigger than they imagined, involving city prosecutors, Albanian drug dealers, and even a wide-eyed college student they chase through a snowy New York. The film is at its best with its tongue-in-cheek nods to the celebrity and age of its stars, from said smooth operator playing in Clooney's car to the moment in which both reach for their glasses to read a pager. The film, whose title references the fixer played by Harvey Keitel in Pulp Fiction, gets a limited theatrical release before going to streaming on Apple TV Plus September 27th.
That's all the news we have for today. Thank you all for watching.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله